Raven, there's nothing like being behind the scenes. I love the green room because in the green room, I can ask any question I want. We're totally off script. There is no run sheet. There is nothing that you can do but answer the question. And we're still early. I love it. Look, so I don't have to read this long bio, which means I would be here the whole show, about how wonderful you are. They're going to find you over at ravenmagwood.com. They're going to find you. Take a moment and tell them a little bit, who is Raven, for those that don't know, and what are you up to these days?
Well, first off, I want to thank you for having me on the show. I'm super, super excited to be here, spread some light on what's going on and how entrepreneurs can better their businesses. So thank you so much, Shay, for having me. A little bit about me. I'm an author. I'm a motivational speaker. And ironically, I've been known as an achievement expert since I was 12 years old, because that's when I published my first book. And that's when I gave my first speech for Stedman Graham. So since then, I've really been traveling the country, traveling the world, inspiring people just through my life story. And it's been an amazing journey, from graduating high school with a 5.1 GPA at 16 years old, from graduating college at 19 with a 4.0 GPA, becoming a national gymnastics champion, producing my first screenplay. All of these things have just made me who I am. And the adversity that I faced along the way has allowed me to just be able to share with audiences how to best use their time and to unlock their full potential. So I'm just super excited to share my story today and some of the lessons I've learned along the way as an author and motivational speaker.
Now, you can't just drop on us that you had a 5.0. I didn't know that was even possible, by the way, to have a 5.0. How do you get a 5.0 when you're in high school, by the way? I understand getting a 4.0. I get it. You're super bright. I understand that. But a 5.0, is that even... Tell me a little bit about that. It has nothing to do with the show, but I'm just curious. How do you get to a 5.1?
My high school was actually on a college campus, and I started high school when I was 12. So when I was 13 and a sophomore, my guidance counselors and the principal asked me if I was interested in walking over and starting my college journey. So at 13 years old, I actually started walking over to the college and taking college classes with people a lot older than me. And those classes are on a different scale. They're on that 5.0 scale instead of the 4.0 scale. And because I was getting A's literally in all my college courses, I ended up graduating with a 5.1 GPA just because those college courses boosted it.
Wow, 5.1. Congratulations, by the way. You're like, yeah, I'm still holding on to
Thank
that.
you.
I'm holding on to that for as long as I know. I set a record there. You're the first person I ever know that had a 5 point plus in high school, by the way. Quick question for you. I know we're going to talk about today how to dominate your competition and how to dominate in life. But let's just take a moment and let me ask you, how have things changed for you? I mean, the world is upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Even during this lifetime, you were traveling and all over the place. How's the world changed for you over the last 30 days?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a lot different because I am not even used to being home this much. I'm used to being in a different city literally every week, every weekend. So this is definitely new to me. I've just kind of, taken it in stride as it comes. I'm not able to go to studios and do interviews. I'm doing it through Skype and through video chat like I'm doing now. But it's fun. And it's given me a time to not only rest, because I think I was doing a lot. It's given me time to actually work on some future projects and just kind of have that moment to myself to be able to organize my thoughts and just organize the rest of the year and how I want certain things to go. So yeah, it's been hard in some aspects, a lot of adjusting, but I think life is all about changes, and you have to just be willing to adjust and know how to move forward even when things aren't going exactly the way you want them to.
How true is that? Let's take a moment and acknowledge the one and only Dave Business Bully Anderson, right?
Yes.
Dave, the business bully. And he connected us together through the spirit of collaboration. He could have said, no, he has a scarcity mindset, but he didn't. He decided to go ahead and at least connect us together. Take a moment before we get started and talk about the power of working in teams, the power of working together. Now, I know you were a gymnastics star, by the way, and I know you're a champion. I know you're a winner, but talk a little bit about just collaboration and the power of that.
we can't do things alone. Sometimes we want to pretend that we can and we want to try to get through life alone. But whether it's a friend or a colleague or someone that can help us with a business idea, or it's just a matter of networking, we don't get through life alone, and we have to be willing to accept help. We have to be willing to accept advice and to learn from other people. I mean, why make mistakes yourself all the time when you can learn from the mistakes of others and you can pick someone's brain about their journey? So I'm very big on collaboration, very big on networking, just very big on what can we do to create some positive synergy.
I love it. And, one of your philosophies that I heard, your core philosophies that just stuck out with me, and I'd like for you to talk about it, was your life might be the only Bible that someone reads. I've heard you say that a number of times online. So it's, you've been quoted as doing that. Take a moment and talk about what that thought process is all about. I mean, why you say that and why you hold that as one of your own core values.
Yes, I've definitely held that internally for a while now. And I just think it's so true. Your life really may be the only Bible that another person reads. And I want to live my life in such a way that I'm inspiring other people to be the best that they can be. Even if they don't pick up the Bible for themselves, they're looking at my life, they're looking at what I'm doing, and they're like, you know what? I can be like that too. I can unlock my potential. I can use my time to the best of my ability. I can be the absolute best person that I can be. And I think if I'm inspiring people to do that on a daily basis, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I was put here on earth to do. And if we all kind of had that mentality, we're inspiring people that we don't even realize we're inspiring, whether it's a child or another adult or a niece or nephew or whoever it may be. We're inspiring people to become the absolute best that they can.
Become the absolute best that they can. We're going to talk about that from a national champion herself, by the way, a woman who had a 5.0 and above in high school, 4.0 in college, graduated by 19, written books, doing some wonderful things. We're going to get this thing kicked off. I got to get going, by the way. We're still in the green room, by the way. We haven't started. We're going to get going in a minute. I got carried away, but we're going to get going in 5. What's going on, What's up, Dara? What's up, Elena D. Bowden? 4, 3. What's up, Carol? 2, 1. We got a show. We got to get kicked off. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of those resources that you need to execute the visions that you have. I believe you have 3 visions. The first vision I believe you have is you have a vision for yourself, the way you want to live, the clothes you want to wear, the food you want to eat, and it takes resources, which means it takes revenue. Some of you have a resource for number 2. You have a vision for number 2, and that is the vision for the people you love the most. Maybe you want to write a check to pay someone's mortgage during a time like this. Maybe you want to go online and be able to order groceries. I love sending groceries to mother's house. Like, I can't go inside, by the way, during these times. So we're putting groceries on the steps of the doors and trying to get those delivered. And that's so important. But it takes resources. And some of you want to pay for someone's health care insurance or do something good in your community. And then the third resource you have, I believe, is you have a vision, I should say, a vision for the people you were called to serve. And it's always like to say on these episodes, imagine for a moment, whether you're a believer or not. I happen to be a believer. But imagine you're Noah in the Bible. And Noah shows up and they say, hey, Noah, what's up? Noah, there is no hammer. No hammer? What am I going to do? Noah, what? There is no nails. What am I going to do? No, I hate to report to you while you're sitting there. You got this big vision, but there is no wood and there is no what? There's no team to put the boat together. Doggone it, what's going to go down now? And that might be you. You might be that person out there right now that has a vision and you need the resources. And that's why we're talking to Raven today, because Raven's one of those resources that can help you really execute and support the vision you have for the people you would call stars. Let me say hello to the one and only, all the way from South Carolina, Raven. What's up, Raven?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fine, man. We are moving in the fast lane. Let's just get right to it if we can. For those folks that are out there, take a moment and talk about how are you maintaining balance in all of this chaos? I mean, there's so much going on in the world. How are you doing that? And how do you suggest people do that now?
I think you have to be intentional. For me, I am extremely intentional about setting this balance. I don't think it comes. I don't think it comes naturally, really, especially in the times we're in, and it is so chaotic. You have to be willing to say, okay, this is my intention and this is what I'm going to do, because it's hard to maintain balance when this all isn't happening, and now it is, and it has become even harder. So yes, be intentional about how you set that balance. Make sure that you're spending time with your family, which now we're almost forced into that situation if you're quarantining with your family. But then also set time aside for the things that you want to do and the things that you want to accomplish. And just make sure that you're being productive on all aspects. It doesn't just mean professionally. It also means personally. It means making sure that you're getting your rest. It's making sure that you're checking up on people maybe you haven't talked to in a while. So it's about just setting that intention and being present in all of the different facets of your life.
I love how you mentioned that. And for those folks like Yvette Gale, who's out there, by the way, down in North Carolina, she wanted a shout out. Marcus is out there, by the way. Brian Oles. What's up, Brian Oles, over the Black Speakers Network? And so many of you who are tuning in, you're bringing out the all-stars, by the way, that are tuning in right now. You talked about being intentional. But there's so many distractions going on. I mean, how can someone even manage time? Even myself, I'm watching the news and then I come back and then I try to work and my phone rings and someone's sharing something that's going on with a loved one. And then I sit down and I try to work and then I look at the internet, then I look and then also I go back to see what's going on. It's been a challenge. I'll say that. And so I don't make light of the subject, but it's a very important subject, which is how do you recommend that people effectively manage time? If they can even manage time, maybe it's about time choices, but I'll give it over to you to get your view of the world.
Yeah, life is all about choices, and how we utilize our time is a choice. And that's why I always go back to the word intentional and being intentional in that way, because it is easy. I know when this first started, I was doing the same thing. I noticed myself spending hours scrolling through social media, scrolling through Instagram, making TikTok videos, watching the news on the phone. And, it was fine and dandy at first and it was fun. But then I also realized I wasn't being productive in a way that I would have been if I wasn't sitting at home all day. And I had to make a choice. And it can be hard at times. It's hard to change your frame of thinking to going from one aspect to another, going from wasting time to being productive. But once again, it's about a choice and being intentional. So I really just sat down and said, you know what, Raven, these are the things you say you want to accomplish and what you want to do, and these dates that you have set for yourself, you can still do that at home, but you've got to put an hour aside to do this. You got to put a couple hours aside to do this. You can still rest and catch up on that TV show. But then once that episode is stopped, you need to go and do X, Y, Z. And it's about that intention, looking at your clock, timing yourself. For me, I get a lot more done when I time the task. I say, you know what, I'm going to give myself a good 45 minutes right now. I'm going to put my phone away. I'm going to turn the TV off. I'm going to remove the distractions intentionally. And for 45 minutes, try to accomplish as much as I possibly can. And I get more done in that 45 minutes than if I had 4 hours with the TV on, with my phone beside me. So it's a matter of being intentional, because we can do it. We can get it done. But are you really in that frame of mind and making sure that you get it done? Is it really that important to you?
Can you share a time where you also had to manage time? I know that you're an athlete, you've competed. Maybe you can tell us a story as a national champion, as a gymnast, going through it, and you not only having to find balance, but how did you maintain your concentration? Because I don't know how you do it, that many hours of practice, that much time. And I know that those skills are still relevant today. So maybe you can tell us about a time where you had to do that and it worked out for you really, really well.
Yeah, when I was in gymnastics at really the height of my career, being this national gymnastics champion, I was really young. I was 12 when I did become a national gymnastics champion and go to the Junior Olympic national competition. And I was a freshman in high school. I was practicing over 20 hours a week, every week at a gym an hour away. So my schedule was really, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, being at school at 7:30 because I couldn't drive almost my whole high school career, being there that early, going to school from 8:30 to 3:30, going to a gym an hour away at 4:30. From 4:30 to 8:30, I practiced and then would get back home and have what, after 10 o'clock at night, these hours to do my homework, to eat, to take a shower. And then I may have went to bed 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, woke up at 6 o'clock and began it all again. So it was a lot, and it can be hard to maintain that concentration, but you have to have the why at the top of your mind. You have to know why you're doing any individual task. And for me, I had certain goals that I felt really strongly about. I did want to graduate valedictorian for my high school class. I did want to become that national gymnastics champion. Those were two things that were extremely important to me. And I was willing to work hard and do whatever it took in order to make it happen. So when times did get hard and I did want to slack off and I did want to give up, I remembered those goals that I set for myself. And it kind of gave me that push to move forward, and carrying that on now in my life. Now I'm very intentional about the things I do because I know that there's someone looking up to me. There's someone that I'm inspiring. Maybe I am that Bible for someone, as we talked about before. And that means the world to me. That becomes my why. That becomes me knowing I'm impacting lives. And so whenever you have a goal in mind, I'm very big on keeping it at the top of your mind, whether it's on a vision board, keeping a picture in your wallet that reminds you of your goal, just having that on the forefront of your mind, because when you know why you're doing something, you can keep pushing forward. You can have that concentration, but then you have to be intentional about what are the things I need to do? What are the things I need to do now in order to make sure that those dreams and goals do come true?
I love it. For those folks that are watching right now, do me a favor, hit the share button or hit the watch party button. You have my permission, I'm sure Raven's permission, to pay this message forward with your network. When you hit the share button, and you're doing this because you want to bless someone else. You want to pay the message forward. Raven showed up. She didn't ask for a cash app. She didn't ask for a credit card. She didn't ask for a wire payment. She says, I'm here to serve today. I'm just here to serve. Hit the share button. When you hit the share button, write these words: be attentional at Raven Magwood. Just hit the share button right now. Hit the watch party button right now. And then write those words: be attentional. Hashtag Raven Magwood. Now, why would you want to do that? Because I'm also going to ask her, no matter, she's done so many things, so many accomplishments, I'm going to ask her if she's ever had a setback in her life. I'm going to ask her if she has, how does she bounce back? I mean, maybe she's been perfect. We're going to find out in a moment. Maybe she hadn't had any challenges. But for those folks that are out there and you say, wow, she just said be attentional. That sounds easy, but it's easy for her. She don't have no problems. And I don't know if she does or not, by the way, because she didn't force me to ask any questions. So I don't know. After you hit the share button, look right below the video and write these words: be attentional. Just post it right below. Like Michael is out there watching right now. Arlene is out there watching right now. Thanks a lot. Michael Sharp is in the house. Carol's in the house. Margaret's in the house. So many folks. Be attentional. Hashtag Raven Magwood. Raven, let me just ask the question. If you had a setback in your life along this journey, if so, what was it? And do you mind sharing it with the audience so they understand what you did to have a comeback as well?
Of course, I've had multiple setbacks, starting from the time that I was a national gymnastics champion. A lot of people don't realize I had a knee disease that caused me pain every single day, chronic pain. There were times I couldn't compete. There were times I had to just sit on the sidelines and watch my teammates as I iced, and I just couldn't go out there and do what I needed to do to prepare for a competition. I had 3 surgeries during that time that sidelined me from the sport that I truly loved. And, I've dealt with negative people, negative energy, just a lot of things like that where I had to remove myself from negative people and situations. Then, fast forward to when I was only 19 years old, I end up going to the doctor and he tells me that he's found a lump in my right breast. So I ended up having to have a breast cancer surgeon that I was seeing, had a lumpectomy, which is the breast cancer surgery. And it was just a hard time for me. I ended up actually having to go back. I had 2 lumpectomies. And it just showed me to appreciate life. And I think that experience, as hard as it was to go through as a 19-year-old, it changed me. And it showed me that as long as we're here and we're alive and we have breath in our body, we should be doing everything we can with what we have, where we are, every single day. And maybe that's why I'm just so enthusiastic about life. And I try so hard to make the most of what I have, because I understand our life is limited, but we're here. So there's positive things that we can do. And of course, it was hard. Of course, there were times that I cried myself to sleep, but I did get through it. It ended up being benign. I am fine now, but it was definitely a hard time. You know, I am a creator. I write screenplays. I write books. I've heard the word no. Things have not been produced. Things have not been published in the way that I wanted them to at a particular time. But I kept pushing forward. I knew this is why I am here. I'm going to impact someone. I'm not going to take this no, or I'm not going to let someone tell me no who can't tell me yes. That's extremely important. We can talk about that a little later. But
okay,
yeah.
I caught that. I put a note. We're gonna come back to that. Find someone who can tell you yes. I made a note of that. We're gonna talk about that later, Shay. I heard you. I'm paying attention. Keep going. I'm sorry. I shouldn't interrupt you.
Yes, I'm not perfect by any means. I've had my share of adversity, and just even there are things maybe that I even struggle with personally. You know, I have a very calm natured aspect about me that people joke about all the time. They're like, the world could be falling apart and Raven's just going to be calm. But it's taken a lot to get to this point. You know, I do keep myself out of situations where my temper could go to that level. You know, I'm just not this perfect person. I have to navigate, and I have to be intentional to be able to portray myself in the best light. And I use that word all the time. You're going to get tired of hearing me say it. But if with anything in life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your work-life balance, whether it's writing a business plan, whether it's making that first 100,000, that first million, whatever your goals are in life, it's not going to happen unless you put the intention behind it. I just don't care. I'm not going to take that excuse. You have to say, this is what I want. I'm willing to put the work behind it, and I'm going to be intentional each and every day to make sure that it's to my satisfaction.
You mentioned in there, don't focus on the who said no. I believe, if I'm paraphrasing it, focus on finding the person that can say yes. Can you unpack that for a moment for us? We put a pin in it because you said it, but I want to come back to that. So the question I'm asking, ladies and gentlemen, is she said, focus on who can say yes. I believe in so many words, not who can say no. Tell us what you meant.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times we allow people to tell us no that cannot tell us yes. And we let these people discourage us. You know, we go and we ask someone, you know, does this book idea sound good? Do you think you can get it through? Do you think it can get published? And they say, oh no, that's not worth anything. That person is not the one that's going to make the final decision to publish your book. But now you've taken that no, you've taken that discouragement, and maybe you put that book to the side, and you should never have. So just don't let a person tell you no that can't tell you yes. If they can't make that final decision, yes or no, to make something happen in your life, you keep pushing forward as long as it's in your heart and that's what you know that you want to do. And this can be with anyone. It can be with friends. It can be with family members, because unfortunately, a lot of times the people closest to us are the ones that aren't encouraging us, or they're the ones that don't believe in us. And they do discourage us, or they tell us no, or they say it's not going to happen. But if they're not that final decision maker, you keep pushing forward. You make it happen.
You make it happen. I love it, boy. I love it. You said you make it happen. Someone do me a favor. Hit the share button right now. What's up, Saucony Prince? What's up, Audrey Hines? What's up, Calvin? Hit the share button. When you hit the share button, just write those words. You make it happen. Hashtag Raven Magwood. Go and hit the share button right now. Pay this message forward to another entrepreneur that's sitting home right now wondering, is this possible? Pay it forward to another single mom or single dad or married person that's sitting home right now saying, wow, everyone keeps telling me no. You need to look for the yes, and then you need to make it possible. I'm going to ask her in a moment to kind of share with us, what does it really take to really achieve success? Just from her view of the world, she's had so much success along her journey, and still the best is yet to come. But I'm curious if she had to break it down to us and say, you know what, this is what it really takes to be successful. What pops in your mind, Raven?
Extraordinary effort. Because a lot of times we want extraordinary results, right? We want that $1 million. We want the successful business. We want the successful marriage. We want the successful kids. We want to be on top of the world. But then we're not even willing to put forth that extraordinary effort to get those extraordinary results. I see it all of the time. But you have to be willing to work hard. You have to be willing to invest in those relationships, invest in your business, invest in the time that's needed to make sure that that business becomes a success. Invest in the business that you're working in. If you work a 9-to-5, are you really being the best employee that you can be? If you have your own business, are you being the best employer that you can be? Are you being the best wife, the best husband, the best parent? Can you really look in the mirror and answer that question and say, yes, I am? And if not, why not? Why aren't you putting forth the most effort that you can? Why aren't you utilizing your 24 hours in the best of your ability? Ask yourself, be honest with yourself. But when you want extraordinary results, you are going to have to put forth that extraordinary effort.
What does success look like for you now? I mean, what does success mean to you? That's really the question. What does success mean to you now? And I love that. Extraordinary effort. Well said. I love that. The 2 E's.
Yes, I actually answer this question a lot because my latest book is called The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women.
Wait a minute. Are we getting a sneak preview? I know it's one of your books. Wait. You can't just drop that on me now. You can't be like, well, my next book, Tell us the name.
The latest book.
It's already out.
Yes, it's already out. You can get it on Amazon. It's called The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women.
Oh,
and,
wait. Okay. Yeah. So for those folks that want to get the book, now she wasn't prepared to talk about the book, but I'm going to ask her to give us one of those lessons. Don't worry about it. But go to Amazon or go to her website. Go to ravenmagwood.com, ravenmagwood.com. And what's the name of the book again?
The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women.
Well, I'm sure I can benefit from this too, by the way. Okay, go ahead and answer the question. Don't worry, I'm gonna ask her which one of them. Don't worry, she's gonna give us 1 or 2 bonuses. This is bonus time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, take it away.
So with that title,
I like that.
I get the question a lot, what does prosperity mean to you? Because for some people, they think it's all about money, and it's not. If you're truly prosperous as a man, as a woman, as a young person, you have reached a certain level of success in every aspect of your life. You're reaching your full potential in every aspect of your life. It doesn't just revolve around money, because you can have all the money in the world and not have good relationships with the people closest to you. You can have good relationships with the people closest to you and then neglect your own dreams and goals and not going after the things that you want. So prosperity is about looking at all of these different facets of your life, personal, professional, spiritual, physical, and looking at those aspects and then asking yourself and being honest and putting forth the effort behind making sure you're reaching your full potential in each of those aspects. So that's what success looks like for me personally. It looks like me being financially secure, yes, but do I have relationships with the people that are closest to me? Am I pouring into those people? Are they better people because of me? Spiritually, am I growing in that aspect? Physically and with my health, do I feel good? Am I paying attention to my body? Am I treating it as my temple? And so, yes, all of those things together encompass success, because it's not just about what you do, but it's about what you do in comparison to your gifts, talents, and abilities.
Well, wait. Yeah, look, she done went a whole other direction. Shay, I came fired up today. We weren't even going to talk about her book. She's talking about, it's called The 7 Practices of a what?
Prosperous Women.
And she just talked about what prosperous means to her. But don't worry, I'm going to ask her, how does someone find their passion? Like what's 1 or 2 things that they can do on this journey if they don't know, because they could be sitting at home right now and they've got time. They've got 1,440 minutes. And if we leave out of this situation the same way we came on, then just shame on us. We've got opportunity to at least find our passion or step it up another level. How does someone in
Exactly.
the time we have, and I appreciate you drifting over to this conversation, by the way. She's so cool. She's so laid back. I appreciate you. How does someone find their passion? Can I ask that question? Is it okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
cool.
I think you have to tap into your emotions. You tap into what does make you angry, what does make you sad, what makes you happy beyond measure. What would you do if you weren't getting paid to do it? What would you do if someone paid you any amount of money in the world to do? For me, I love to speak. I love to write. I love to inspire people to become the best versions of themselves, whether I'm speaking to an audience of 10,000 people or I'm speaking to a loved one. I just love the feeling of someone walking away a better person because of me, because of something I said, because of me just living out that Bible we keep talking about. But in order to find your passion, you've got to be willing to tap into that. I know for me, when I first went to school, I had heard all my life that I should be a doctor because here I am with this high GPA. I was always known as the quote unquote smart girl.
5.0 GPA in high
Yes,
school.
500. Yes.
Yes, graduated with a 4 point plus from college. At 19 graduated. I just wanted to give you a
Reiterate
little
that.
props. By the way, I mean, that's pretty huge.
Yes, thank you. So I heard that all my life. Be a doctor, help people. You're smart enough to do it. And I internalized that. I went to school as a pre-med major to start off. I just thought that's what I was supposed to do. I just breezed through all of these biology, chemistry, math classes, had a 4.0. I was going to apply to medical school early. And then my mom had a conversation with me. And my mom actually ended up asking me, why do you want to be a doctor? And I couldn't answer the question straight. I couldn't give her a really good answer. I just said, well, they make money and they help people. Why not? And she said, no, that's not the correct answer. What would you do if someone would pay you any amount of money to do? And I said, I mean, I would speak, I would write, I would help people, I would inspire people. And she said, well, that's what you need to do. That's exactly what you need to do with your life. And I ended up changing my major from the medical route to communication studies with a minor in writing. I did all this in my last year of school. So I was taking 22 hours each semester for my last year just so I could go ahead and get out of there on the same schedule.
Yeah.
But it ended up being the best year of my academic career. I loved it. I loved learning about the communication concepts and how I could apply that to my career as a motivational speaker, as an author. And it was awesome. I had tapped into my passion. And then now, as an entrepreneur, you've got to find out how your passion can allow you to make a living. So it's about finding that intersection between your passion and then how you can fulfill a need. And for me, there's so many people who want my advice on time management, on their business, on becoming a success in whatever facet of their life they want to become a success in. And so I found that intersection. I found the intersection of what I love to do and how I could help people. And boom, there you have it, entrepreneurship. And I'm able to truly make a living about around what I love to do.
Boom, there you have it. Boom, there you have it. Someone hit the like button right now. If you believe that this is your year, that this is your time, no matter what, and you believe in the boom, there you got it. I like that. Go ahead and just hit the like button right now. Hit the heart button right now. Hit the share button right now. Pay this message forward to your network. This is a way that you can bless and support other folks. And I'm going to ask her about the power of visualization. I'm going to ask her about the power of affirmations in a moment. But you hit the heart button. You hit the like button. You hit the share button. Let's bring joy to someone else. Let's bring happiness to someone else. Let's let someone else all of a sudden see what's possible for them in the middle of whatever they're going through. And that's what I admire about you most, Raven Magwood, is that you have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. You're here. You showed up. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Take a moment, if you would, and just talk about the power of meditation and visualization and maybe affirmation you use.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely important. It's actually the first practice in my book, The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women. I talk about visualizing the end result because you have to know where you want to go if you're even going to get there in the first place. So that's extremely important. We've got to set goals. We've got to set this vision for our life. So the power of visualization is key. I'm very big on having vision boards, or at least giving yourselves reminders of why you want to be successful or where you want to go. For some people, it's a car that they really want. They feel like once I get to this certain point in my business, I want to buy myself this car. Maybe print out a picture of that car. Maybe get a small model of the car and put it on your desk, and just allow that to motivate you. Maybe you want to give a certain amount of money to a charity that you've always enjoyed working with. Write a check to that charity and put it on your wall. And then one day will come that you will be able to give that check to the charity. But I'm big on just having these reminders, these constant reminders every day that you're going to see on your wall, in your wallet, wherever it may be, in your car, that give you that reminder of visualization, the reminder of your goals, the reminder of where you want to go and where you want to be. Because when we have those reminders, we can visualize, this is where I do see myself in 6 months. This is where I see myself in a year, even 5 years. And when we're able to visualize that, we can manifest it and make it happen. But we can't make anything happen that we aren't first creating in our heads.
Wow. Very, very powerful. We're speaking to the one and only Raven. And Raven, what's an affirmation you use for yourself? What's something that you tell yourself to keep yourself, I'm not going to say motivated, but keep yourself encouraged or inspired? Do you have one or two favorite quotes or one or two affirmations that you tell yourself, or do you share with your clients to tell themselves?
Yes, I do the I am a 10 chant in all of my speeches.
The what
And
now?
it's called I am a 10. So here it goes. It's I am a 10. I walk like a 10. I talk like a 10. I get what I want when I want it, because I always do what I ought to do when I ought to do it. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm smart. I'm strong. I am a 10. And that's something that I do really in all my speeches, whether I'm speaking to kindergartners or I'm speaking to CEOs. It's always a huge hit. We do it louder and louder each time, but it's not just something I do with my audience. I do that with myself. There's times I'm just in my room, I'll say that to myself. I'll look in the mirror, I'll say that to myself, because every day we have a choice. Mm-hmm. And whether you want to admit to it or not, or whether the choice is hard or not, you have a choice to wake up and say, you know what, today I am a 10. I am going to walk like a 10 and go after my goals and do all the things that I want. Or maybe I'm just a 4 or 5. You have a choice when you're getting cut off by someone in traffic to have a positive response, let them go and carry on with your day. Or you can pull up, have road rage, flip them off. It's a choice. It really is a choice. Yeah. And it can be a hard choice. Sometimes it's the hardest thing in the world to be positive and intentional, but it is a choice. And it's a choice that you get to make each and every day. So yes, the I am a 10 chant is something that I love to do. And it keeps me going. I get a lot of DMs and emails and messages from people saying, what is it again? I love that. I say it to myself every day now. So it's really cool, because I think that when you repeat things to yourself over and over again, you start to believe what you're saying is true. When you build a room for yourself of positivity and you choose to inhabit that room, you become positive in every other aspect of your life. And you can do that in a reverse way. You can create a room of negativity and sit in that room and everything is negative. Your job's negative. Your spouse is negative. Your kids, you find something wrong with them. But it's about a choice of where are you headed? Are you going in the positive direction or are you going in the negative direction? Build a room of positivity. Build a room of positive affirmation. Speak life into yourself. Speak life into the people around you, and you'll notice a positive change in your life.
That is so positive. I like that. Tell us a chant one more time. I know it's short, but it's so powerful. You said it so fast, but just take a moment and say, I am a 10. And for those folks that are watching right now, you can look right below the video and put, I am a 10, because every single one of us can be a 10. She didn't say it was based on our income. She didn't say it was based on how many letters we have behind our name. She didn't say it was based on our occupation. She says that you can say, I am a 10. Give it to us one more time, please.
Okay. It's I am a 10. I walk like a 10. I talk like a 10. I get what I want when I want it, because I always do what I ought to do when I ought to do it. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm smart. I'm strong. I am a 10.
I am a 10. Love it. Love it. Love it. That is super powerful. That's a really good segue into one of the core values we have here at the Happy Entrepreneurs Network. And one of our core values is today is my January 1st. And for those folks
Awesome.
that are hearing that for the very first time, we're going to talk about today is my January 1st. And for those folks that know what the segment is, like, oh, Shay, yes, it is. You can look right below the video and you can write today is my January 1st. For those that are hearing it for the first time, today is my January 1st represents any time throughout the day, and it's probably 1,000+ moments that you can make a decision, and that decision can forever shift the trajectory of your life, right? So you make a decision to work out in your house because you can't go anywhere else, or you sit on the couch and watch Netflix. You make a decision to eat hamburgers and French fries, or you go to the refrigerator, you open it up, and inside there is what? There's kale, there's broccoli, there's spinach, there's some good stuff in there, there's some celery, and you pull that out, and you can do that as well. That's a January 1st moment. It's a do-over. It's a fresh start. It's your past doesn't equal your future. My question for Raven Magwood is, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what does it mean to you? What do you hear?
For me, I hear today is the first day of the rest of my life. Today is the first day of the rest of my life, because once again, let's go back to the choices. We have a choice to be the absolute best we can be. We have a choice to go after our goals. We have a choice to make things happen, but we have to be willing to put forth that extraordinary effort behind those choices. And so, yeah, it's the first day of the rest of my life. Today, right now, I'm going to be the best individual that I can be. I'm going to give my time and attention to the people that need my time and attention. I'm going to give my time and attention to the tasks that are required of me in order to make sure that my business is successful, to make sure that I'm accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. But once again, it's a choice, and you can make this choice at any time. Stop waiting until January 1st of each year to have these resolutions. It can happen any day, anytime. But once you decide, you have to be intentional about moving forward in that direction.
Love it. What was that moment that you had? What was, maybe you had so many January 1st moments throughout your life already, but what was the January 1st moment that you decided, you know what, I'm going to plant my flag, I'm going to draw a line in the sand, and I'm going to go out there and change lives with my story, based on my experience and based on my expertise? What was that moment you said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, for me, it started way back when my career as a motivational speaker started. I think I mentioned that my first speech was actually for Stedman Graham. And at that point in time, I would have never even imagined I'd be giving a speech, a keynote speech for that matter, for him, because I was extremely shy. I used to have my own struggles with self-esteem, with what I felt like I was put on this earth to do. And so I was extremely nervous. I threw up before. I was a mess, but I ended up getting a standing ovation after the presentation. And I thought, okay, maybe this is something I can do, but I still wasn't convinced that's what I was supposed to be doing. But then about my fourth or fifth speech, I spoke at a church, and a middle-aged man came up to me after the presentation, and he had tears in his eyes. And with these tears in his eyes, I had no idea what was wrong. I didn't know if it's because my speech was that bad. I didn't know. And I was a little nervous about why he was showing this much emotion. But he looked at me and he said, Raven, in my life, I have attempted suicide 3 times. And he said that he was actually planning on going home and trying again that day. But he said after hearing a 12-year-old just be so passionate about life and understand why she's here and speaking life into all of these people in the audience of this church, he was like, I promise right here, right now, I will never try to take my life again. And that was the moment. That was my moment of this being my January 1st. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to impact people. I want people to walk away better people because of something that I've written or something that I've said. That was my moment. And then when I got older, I realized that, wait, I can make a career out of this. You know, before as a teenager, it was, I just love to do this. But then I realized, you know what, I don't have to have another career. I could make this my career. So upon graduating from college, I decided to be extremely intentional about my speaking engagements and about my brand and about just how I navigated these waters of being an author and a motivational speaker. And I've just been able to truly travel the world, impact people. It's been a blast.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I love that. powerful. How does Raven remain consistent? You probably heard consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Having said that, most folks struggle with consistency, and they're getting excited right now. Today is my January 1st. They're writing that. They're really excited, like they were back on December 31st. After a couple drinks, if you would, on the back of a napkin, they started writing down those goals, and they don't even know where they are today. Yes. So my question to you is, how do you remain consistent? How do you #stay the course?
Yes, consistency is extremely key in anything. It's key in your professional life. It's key in your personal life. Most marriages fail because there's just a lack of consistency. One day you're sweet, one day you're not. One day you go above and beyond, one day you don't. Like, someone wants a consistent person as an employee, as a spouse, as a parent, as whatever it is, a colleague. So you want to make sure that you do have this consistency. But I say all the time, motivation, that inspiration, it's like taking a bath. Like, it wears off. You've got to do it every day. You've got to be intentional about it. I know we're all sitting at home, but I'm pretty sure you're showering every day. You're not just taking a shower and, once we can leave the house 60 days from now, whenever the day is, that's when you're going to take a shower again. It's like, no, you do certain things daily because that's what you're supposed to be doing. And why don't we do that in our life of being consistent in a positive way? And so in order to stay the course, here we come with the word again, we've got to be intentional, but not just intentional about the things we do, but keeping those reminders around us. Because for me, I can remain consistent when I have that constant reminder of where I want to be and where I want to go. And when I look at the vision board on my room and I see the things I want and I see my goals that I've set for myself for the year, for 5 years, for 6 months, and I'm constantly seeing that, now it becomes, okay, there's my reminder, get to work. There's my reminder, get to work. And that happens in everything. When you look at your kids and you say, okay, I want a better life for them. Now, what can I do in order to make that happen? When you look at your employees and you say, I want to create a better business for my employees, what can I do right now to make it happen? So that's why visualization is key. These vision boards are key. Keeping these reminders around us are key. And that's how you stay the course. There's a reason why they say, out of sight, out of mind. If you're not thinking about something or seeing something, it's very easy to forget about what you need to do to make it successful. And that's not even just in relationships. It's in whatever it is that you want to do. You can't get mad a flower dies when you're not willing to water it. That just has rang true to me for my entire life. A lot of times we get mad when things fail. Our business fails and relationships fails and things don't work out. But are we being honest with ourselves about the intention that we're putting behind watering that plant? And if we're not watering the plant, why are we mad it's wilting?
All right, we're talking to the one and only Raven. She's on overtime right now. She don't realize that. She's like God into overtime, which is cool, by the way. She's Shay, I'm fired up. Shay, I'm ready. I love it. All the way from South Carolina. She's making it happen and making a difference in the world. We really, really appreciate that. I'm going to ask you in a moment if she'll go to the rapid fire segment where we can ask any questions we want. Yeah. But before we do that, how can folks best connect with you?
Yes, you can go to my website, www.ravenmagwood.com. And on there, you can find more information about me. You can find links to my social media. You can buy my book. I think the cheapest right now is on Amazon. If you do purchase directly from my site, though, you get it autographed. And then
purchase from the site. That's the code. Yeah. Purchase from the site. That's the code. Go to Don't worry about the cheapest. Go to www.ravenmagwood.com. Get the book. What's the latest book? Tell them one more time the latest book that's out.
The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women. And I did write it with women in mind, but it's just amazing how many men around the world, like I'm saying, from different countries, you included, have just said, oh my gosh, this is an amazing book. It's changed my life. And so I encourage you, if you're interested at all, pick it up and read it. But it is called The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women. And then on social media, I'm most active on Instagram,
of course,
at Raven Magwood. But Facebook, same thing, at Raven Magwood. So yeah, you can find me.
Yeah, I know. That's right. What do you enjoy most about what you do?
I love being able to travel and meet new people, meet interesting people, just have amazing experiences, because these experiences you have just stick with you for the rest of your life. I remember when I got to meet First Lady Michelle Obama, that was an experience that has stuck with me. And it really just taught me that luck is the meeting of preparation and opportunity. So, quick rundown, the story is on YouTube, but what ended up happening was I went to a speech that she was giving, and I thought I was just going to sit in the audience and listen to her speak. But then at the end, a news reporter that had done a story on me like a week before called me over because he was interviewing her. He ended up introducing us, and it was a great little conversation we were having. And then she asked me for a copy of my book. Did not have one with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have one. And she's like, Raven, she kind of just scolded me almost with a smile on her face. She was like, Raven, you're young. People take interest in your story. How do you not carry a copy of your book with you? So I said, there's a copy in my mom's car. If you'll wait for me to run out there and get it. And I don't even know why I even told her this.
You
why
just
would
wait
she
right
wait?
here. I'll be right back.
Why would she wait for me? But she actually did. I had on 6-inch heels that day. I had to run a 4.2. Like, I'm sprinting through the parking lot. I get the books. I come back. She's still there, and I give it to her, and she says, no, Raven, you have to sign it to me. So I'm signing First Lady Michelle Obama a copy of my book, Highlight of My Life. And she just kind of looked at me and she said, you have to always be prepared for any opportunity. I'm super proud of you, but don't forget that lesson. And I keep that lesson with me for my life. I'm always prepared. Like, you're not going to catch me slipping again. Whatever it is, I'm going to be prepared for the opportunity. So it's just times like that I just enjoy, I love, and I carry those lessons with me always.
Well, thanks a lot for sharing that lesson with us, by the way. I bet you a lesson you will not forget, and you're paying it forward. You're doing so much good. And we come back, we're going to go, we're going to go rapid fire, where we get to ask any question that's on our mind. And obviously Raven has an opportunity to answer it, or she can not answer it. But the first question I have is, all the mentors you met throughout your life, what's one lesson that you've learned from one of the mentors that you could just share with us that could help us on our journey in life?
Yeah, I've learned a lot from a lot of different people. But I will say that the person I look up to most is my mom. I love her. She's always been supportive. She's always been there for me. And a lesson that I learned from her actually was back when I was doing gymnastics. And I remember asking her, just as a precocious child, I'm like, Mom, what if I don't win first place? And she kind of looked at me and she said, what do you mean? I said, what if I don't get first place? And she said, Ray, because that's what she calls me. She said, Ray, I do not care if you get first place, 10th place, 20th place, second place, third place. It's not about that. You have to feel like you put everything out on the mat and that you did everything that you could. And as long as you feel like you did your best, you're going to be proud of yourself, and I'm going to be proud of you too. And that was just a life lesson for me, that it doesn't matter necessarily what the result is. As long as I feel like I gave everything that I had, then that's all I can do. I won't have any regrets. I can't go back and change anything, but I'll feel like I did everything that I possibly could, so it's okay. And that's how I operate in my life. If it's a relationship, I'm giving everything I can to it. And so if it comes a point in time that I've got to walk away or we separate, I'm not feeling bad about it because I know I did absolutely everything I could. If it's a business that I'm working on, I know I've done everything that I could to make it a success. Maybe I'm steered in a different direction, but I know I'm doing everything that I can. And so that's a lesson, yes, that stayed with me for all these years.
Wow, so powerful. Of all the books you read and the movies you've seen, so we'll go books or movies, kind of which book or which movies had maybe the most impact on your life, or something that pops top of mind to you, like, oh yeah, when I think of that movie or I think of that book, here's the lesson that I walk away with, and it really helps me as well.
Okay, my favorite movie, if anyone knows me at all, it's Remember the Titans. I could watch that all day, every day on repeat. I'm sure I've seen it 10,000 times. Love the movie. As a movie person, I just love how it was put together. I love how it was scored. I love the dialogue. I love everyone from Denzel, just everyone who came together to make this movie. It's just an amazing movie. But then the lesson of doing what's right, even when everyone around you seems to be trying to steer you in a more negative direction, because we have a choice, right? We've been talking about this all interview, that life is about choices. And I just love the choices that were made by coaches, by players, by individuals throughout the movie to allow, and it's a true story. So the fact that all of these people did make these choices to allow the ending to occur the way it did, I just think that's awesome. And I love, love, love that movie. My favorite books, I really love anything written by Malcolm Gladwell. He's my favorite author. I've read all of his books, and I just love how he constructs a book. I love the book Blink, where he just talks about how we make split-second decisions. And that's just very intriguing to me. And so, yes, I've learned a lot of lessons through movies. I learned a lot of lessons through books. But anything that makes me think, anything that I feel like is going to help me grow as a person, those are the things I'm attracted to.
I love it, man. Well, let me say a couple of things. One, we appreciate you spending so much time with us today. We know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. In a moment, I'm going to ask her if she'll have her final thoughts for folks that are out there. For those folks that are out there and you're watching right now, one of the things you may be aware that we're doing is we're on a mission as well. That's not it right there. We're on a mission to really help folks that are, wrong one, to help folks that are out there today. And it's called the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto. And the whole mission of the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto is we realize that during the day, people need to read something or see something to remind them not only to stay the course, but more importantly, keep them encouraged and motivated. And our mission is to get this in front of 10 million entrepreneurs during the course of my lifetime. I can't do it by myself, by the way. I just can't do it by myself. But everyone you can forward it, everyone you can pass it out there. And inside of the manifesto is just the thoughts and ideas that have sustained us over the years. I got a call from someone recently, and they had the manifesto in front of them. And one of the things they shared with me is they said, Shay, I went back and was really stuck with them was number one on the right-hand side. I believe spending quality time with family is non-negotiable. And they found themselves 3 weeks ago being home, but being more separated from the family than they were when they was not home all the time. And they had to be reminded of that. And I'm glad this didn't remind them, but it helped them get focused. And that might be your case. Another one on the top right-hand side I love is I believe automation is the key to reclaiming my time. There is a 25th hour. I believe the 25th hour exists. And the 25th hour exists when you take automation and you bring it into your business or you bring it into your life, because things are automated and there are more than 1,440 minutes in every day because more things are being done without your labor. And that's the 25th hour. I close with this, and I'm going to share with you guys how you can get this, but it's the heart and center. It's what I've held true for the last 15 years as a business owner. But the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up on your bank account. I'm going to ask Raven to talk about that in a moment. Why is it important to have results in your life and not just money in the bank account? But the message is the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. And sometimes we get so focused, at least I did for so long, I got so focused on one area only. And that area was focusing on just getting results in my bank account. And as a result, I went through a divorce. As a result, things were strained in other areas of my life. And I found out it wasn't all about the money. It was about how you could have more meaning in the world. If you want the manifesto, I'm asking you to pay it forward. You can take your cell phone out and you can just text the word manifesto. So you would open up your cell phone. You would key in the word 202-999-3515. Once again, 202-999-3515. Once you do that, you just go ahead and you type the word manifesto. Once you type the word manifesto, then you will get automatically a link that takes you to the website and you can download it. There's no cost, no charge, no catch, no upsell, none of that. This is all about our big give back to the world. So how do you do it again? Text the word manifesto to 202-999-3515. Again, 202-999-3515, and you will get that right away. And then I encourage you, let me know which one resonates most with you. Like read them all. Maybe none of them resonate with you. But if one does, just send me a note. And I'm keeping those notes because there's ones that I just want to highlight that are helping other folks because it may help someone else out there. Maybe the manifesto isn't for you. Maybe you're texting manifesto to 202-999-3515 because you want to pay it forward to someone else. And it's okay to do that. Before we get to your closing thoughts, I wonder if you'd take a moment to talk about the importance of getting results in your life and not just focusing on a bank account.
Exactly. And I think we touched on this a little bit earlier when we were just saying prosperity is not all about money. You want to reach your full potential in all aspects of your life. And it is extremely important that you leave your mark on the world with people and in their hearts and with what you can do to be the best person that you can be. It's not just about money. It's about giving your time to people. It's about paying it forward with your experiences and allowing other people to become better because of you. And so it's extremely important. Look at your life. Look at who you are as a person and how can you be better? How can you reach your potential? How can you be more positive? And when all of those things are in alignment, I find that you have more opportunities to make more money, to be financially secure, to create these collaborations where you're able to create that positive synergy to create that empire that you want. So just don't neglect that. Be the best person you can be. Build a positive life, and the money will be there for you to make.
Love it. Tell them how they can connect with you one more time, Raven.
Yes, website is www.ravenmagwood.com. On social media, I'm at Raven Magwood. And my latest book, The 7 Practices of Prosperous Women, can be bought from my website.
Great book. Go get the book now. Go to www.ravenmagwood.com. Let me first say, Raven, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you showing up. We appreciate you giving the best you had. She said, Shay, I'm not holding back anything. You can ask, and I'm here to pour out. It's not about the check. It's about how we can make a difference. And if the world ever need to hear this message, they need to hear the message now. And she was a perfect person to deliver it at the right time for the right first. So if you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button, pay this message forward. When you hit the share button, just write those words, be intentional. Hashtag Raven Magwood, because you can be intentional. So thanks a lot, Raven. Once again, we appreciate you. I'm going to turn it over to you to have your final thoughts, your final comments. These lights will go off. And we won't be broadcasting through the power of those fiber optic lines right now, right? And folks got to go back and do what you said. They got to go back and being focused. They got to go back to being intentional. So go ahead and share your final thoughts to folks. And once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. You are a rock star. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I guess just to close, I want to encourage people, no matter what it is that you're trying to do, what goal you set for yourself, don't get caught up in the how. It's so easy to not start because we can't see the end result. We don't know how it's going to happen. But I just encourage you to do the most with what you have, where you are every single day. And I really equate it to driving your car at night, because when you drive your car at night, you do not have to be able to see the ending point, the destination, in order to get there. All you have to do is be able to see the 200 feet in front of you that your headlights allow you to see. And as long as you keep pushing forward in the right direction, the next 200 feet are going to reveal itself. The next 200 feet will reveal itself. The next 200 feet, sooner or later, you're going to end up where you want to be. And that's just how life works. But those 200 feet are what we can do today that our future self will thank us for. So make sure you're just doing the most of what you have each and every day, where you are, and you will end up where you want to be. Don't get caught up in the how.
Don't get caught up on the how. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, every single one of you. I want you to know that you're amazing. You're incredible. You're already a winner, and that today is your January 1st. You will be intentional. Today is your January 1st. You woke up and said, I am a what? 10. Today is your January 1st. You will be prosperous, and you will have more meaning in the world and make a difference for someone else. And I want you to know that I believe in you. So with that being said, for those folks that are tuning in and want to know who's Shay Brown, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life is short. Live in the moment and enjoy it. God bless. And we wish you success. We'll see you again. Thanks a lot, Raven. I appreciate you. You rock.
Thank you.
You're a rock star. Thanks a lot. So much fun. I love doing this. Just a lot of fun. promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Check.
Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never give up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there.
Yeah.
Cause all I do is win.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.